I ever get the feeling that, like, the most interesting conversations, you know, the ones that really get you thinking, are the ones you just never see coming.
Oh, for sure.
That's what we're diving into today, actually.
Oh, yeah.
A Joe Rogan Experience episode with UFC fighter Khalil Rountree Jr.
Okay.
That takes some seriously wild turns.
Yeah, this one, knowing your interest in those kind of like weird, bizarre conversations that kind of come out of these MMA things, this one you'll appreciate.
Absolutely. And this one kicks off with a real head scratcher. So picture this, right?
Okay.
Khalil Rountree Jr., elite fighter, talking about, get this, eating pigeon.
Yeah, it is a weird one.
You heard that right. And get this, it's red meat.
Yeah, it might sound strange, but, there are a couple of bird species out there.
Yeah.
Ostrich, pigeon, they actually have red meat. So it's just one of those like things, quirks of nature.
Wow.
That make you really kind of stop and go, huh?
Right. It definitely sets the tone for the unexpected twists and turns that this conversation takes.
Yeah.
1 minute you're picturing like a plate of pigeon.
Right.
The next minute you're just tumbling down this rabbit hole of genetic engineering.
Yeah.
And these what-if scenarios that really get under your skin.
Yeah. Rountree talks about, kind of going down these rabbit holes online and seeing these videos. And it's some pretty out there stuff.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about, human-animal hybrids and stuff, it really makes you wonder, like, how far is too far, when we're talking about messing with nature?
Right. It's like something straight out of, like, a sci-fi thriller or something.
Yeah.
And as if things couldn't get any wilder, Rogan brings up those alleged Russian experiments, right, from World War II.
Oh, yeah.
The ones where they supposedly tried to create super soldiers by hybridizing humans and chimpanzees.
It's, we always have that part of us that's interested in those conspiracy theories and stuff, those like little glimpses into the unknown. And it really makes you think about, like, what do we actually know about history? What are the stories that we tell ourselves?
Yeah.
What secrets are still kind of lurking out there?
It's a lot to process, man.
It really is.
From mutant pigeons to Cold War conspiracies,
Yeah. Where do you even go from there?
Right. And that actually leads perfectly into the next part of their conversation, which knowing your, like, thirst for knowledge, I think will really, really resonate with you.
Okay.
This is where Rountree and Rogan start unpacking this feeling of information overload.
Yeah.
That, I don't know about you, but I think a lot of us are really feeling these days, especially in the age of social media.
It's, it's like we're just constantly bombarded, right?
Totally.
Especially on platforms like TikTok where everything's like,
yeah,
short form, instant gratification, all that.
Right. And Rogan actually, he brings up this phrase that I thought was just brilliant.
Okay.
From a previous guest, ultra processed information. Oh, I like that.
It's like, it's like junk food for the brain, you get this quick hit of dopamine.
Yeah.
But there's like no real substance there.
You don't really absorb it.
And that really struck a chord with me because, it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking that you're actually like learning and growing just because you're consuming all this content.
But just scrolling.
Right. But are we really like absorbing it? Are we engaging with it?
It's passive.
It is. What? And it made me think of that Ronnie Chang bit.
Yeah.
Where he jokes about how Americans would rather like die for their country than
like a book.
Than read a book for it.
That's a good one.
Right. It's funny.
Yeah.
But there's a real truth to it.
Oh, absolutely. Which is that there's a huge difference between,
consuming and engaging.
Yeah. Passive consumption and active engagement. Yeah.
You got it.
And I think in a world where information is just so readily available.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It's more important than ever to be really discerning about,
right,
what we're consuming and how we're engaging with it.
100%.
So we've talked about this like overwhelming influx of information, but this conversation also dives into some seriously mind-bending concepts.
Yeah, for sure.
The kind that make you really question what you thought you knew about the world.
Oh yeah, like Rogan's whole thing about Neanderthals.
Right.
He brings up this theory that challenges the traditional view,
Yeah.
Like imagine instead of these Neanderthals looking like us.
Yeah.
They're built more like gorillas.
Whoa.
Like super strong nocturnal predators.
Man.
It's crazy.
It's a good reminder that our understanding of the past, it's always evolving, right?
Always changing, yeah.
Like what we accept as fact today,
right,
could be totally different tomorrow.
100%. And speaking of challenging conventional thinking,
Okay.
this is where the conversation takes this really unexpected turn.
Okay.
Towards Terrence Howard.
Wait.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard, the actor.
The actor.
Okay.
Yeah. He fancies himself, a bit of a scientific thinker.
Okay.
And let's just say his theories are a little
out there.
unconventional, yeah.
That's putting it lightly,
to say the least.
So what kind of stuff is Terrence Howard talking about?
Oh man, he's got these really, really out there ideas about everything.
Okay.
From planet formation to human evolution, it's a lot.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, he talks about how planets can get pregnant with life.
Essentially.
Yeah, like when they reach a certain point in their orbit around a star.
Oh.
Conditions are just right. Boom, life.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is why I love this kind of stuff.
It's wild, right?
It makes you think.
It really does.
Even if it sounds crazy.
It highlights, I think, the importance of, approaching information, no matter where it's coming from, with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right.
But also curiosity. Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to keep an open mind.
100%.
Because you never know what you might find.
And from Terrence Howard's cosmic ideas, they shift gears again, right?
Yeah.
They start talking about the mystery of the human brain.
Yeah, which, that's a whole other rabbit hole, right?
It's wild to think about, like, the human brain essentially doubled in size.
I know.
In a relatively short period of time.
Relatively, yeah.
And scientists still don't know exactly why.
It's one of the biggest, unanswered questions in human evolution.
Right.
This rapid development of the brain. It's bizarre. And it makes you wonder, are we still evolving?
Right. Like, what are humans going to look like in 1 million years? Like, what if our brains just keep getting bigger?
Right. It's a trip to think about.
It gives me chills, man.
Me too.
But it gets even deeper than that.
Okay.
They go down this rabbit hole of Dyson spheres.
Dyson spheres, yeah.
These hypothetical megastructures built around stars by advanced civilizations to harness their energy.
It's wild.
Right.
To think about the scale of something like that.
And what's even crazier is that Rogan connects this back to recent discoveries made by the James Webb Space Telescope.
Right.
Some astronomers think that certain anomalies, I guess you could call them, anomalies that have been detected by the telescope could actually be evidence of these structures.
It's wild.
So we're back to that age-old question, right?
It's a big one.
Are we alone?
Right. Are we alone in the universe?
It's a question that continues to fascinate us.
Always will.
And I don't know about you, but I don't think we're ever going to have a definitive answer.
I don't think so either.
But I love that we're even asking these questions.
Me too. And I think it's important to, like we were saying earlier, to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Because, these what if questions,
right,
they can lead to some really, really thought-provoking journeys.
Absolutely. And sometimes those journeys take us, way beyond the familiar territory of the octagon. Right.
That's right.
And they push us to confront, some bigger questions about technology, about human potential.
About our place in the universe.
Yes. About the mysteries of the universe. Yeah. And before we wrap up, there was one more point that really resonated with me. And I think it kind of speaks to, your drive to always be learning, always be growing.
Okay.
Rountree talks about how his experience with shooting guns.
Interesting.
Something that you wouldn't necessarily think is related to fighting.
Right.
Actually helped him to refine his striking technique in the ring.
Wow. Okay.
And I just thought that was such a fascinating example of how, even these seemingly unrelated disciplines can actually intersect and enhance each other in really unexpected ways.
It makes you think.
Right. It makes you think, what is that thing for you? What is that unexpected activity, that area of knowledge that you could explore that might give you a fresh perspective on the things that you're already passionate about?
I love that.
Right. And maybe that's the most important takeaway from this whole wild ride, right? The a reminder that knowledge knows no boundaries.
It's true.
And that the most enlightening discoveries often lie in the most unexpected places.
100%.